Hello everyone, my name is Lewis and welcome back to the Saku-san channel. Yes, today we're going to be doing a special kind of roundup, pseudo roundup of the year in vinyl. It's basically what I'm going to be showing you today, two pieces of vinyl and they're my vinyl of the year. So it's not necessarily new products which were released even in 2024. It's when I've actually purchased them, you know, the date of when I purchased them, what resonated, what album, what material. Basically, as soon as I heard it this year, I went, right, okay, that's my highlight. So it's not necessarily a jazz orientated, it could be anything. It's just something I've picked up this year in vinyl where I've gone, right, more than anything, that's what's kind of done it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, it could just be the most iconic. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, which the consensus would say, oh, you know, this is the best album released this year. I'm not saying that. Specifically what I have bought this year, which just kind of like changed the game for me. So hopefully once you see my video, I've done a couple before. I'll leave links down below to previous editions of this, you know, vinyl of the year kind of selection. I'll leave links to them down below. Please feel free in the comment section, give your view on my, you know, what I'm putting forward today as what I think is the best, what I've bought. Give me your suggestions. Tell me what you've bought this year, which, you know, not necessarily released this year, but you bought it this year, which just absolutely blew your mind in terms of how it fits in your collection, the experience of listening to this particular material for you anyway. Leave it in the comment section. Let me know. Okay, let's get on with this. So there's two bits of vinyl. So this is going to be a relatively, can't promise you because you know how I like to waffle. Yeah, this is as amateur as it gets. So I may go off on tangents. Yeah, so let's just start at the beginning. Yeah, there's two bits of vinyl. Oh, let's just pause there. If you are new to the channel, welcome. This is my usual chaos of doing things. It is unscripted. I normally, yeah, I have the vinyl in front of me and I kind of just, off the top of my head, just tell you the impressions I've got about the material, why I came to purchase it, what my impressions are, that type of thing. It's one of the things that you can take it or leave it. I'm certainly, you know, I'm happy to share my thoughts with you. I'm not saying I've got the definitive answers on anything. I'm just saying this is what I enjoy. This is the reasons I enjoy it. Hopefully you'll feel the same. Hopefully this is material that once you've heard it, because I'm hoping at least one of these you haven't heard before. Once you hear it, you might say to yourself, I want that. That's got to go in my collection as well. I see where he's coming from. Or it could be completely the other way, where my selections today get a resounding thumbs down and everybody's just kind of going, hey, that was terrible choices. I'm going to put it out there. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? This is always a risk though, because my fragile ego might absolutely take a mauling today. But let's see what happens. So yeah, two bits of vinyl. The first one is, and I forgot to do any research. I haven't literally got no notes about it, but I think this came out in the 70s, like 74, 72, 74, something like that. It's a body of work by an artist called Randy Masters and Solar Plexus. Randy Masters and Solar Plexus. This is not, it's more of an EP than an album. because it's really fundamentally 2 tracks. It is Children of Bahia on one side, and on the other side it's Torremolinos. Yeah, Torremolinos. Okay. Torremolinos. There you go. So this is a copy that I found recently. Don't get me wrong, I would love this probably will end up being a placeholder. Yeah, there is no artwork, it's come like literally like that. So yeah, let me just put that down for a second because I'm going to freestyle this. So it's one of those things in music, and we all have these moments, I hope, because there's no point in pursuing the hobby if you don't have these moments where you just come across something by sheer luck, and you've got, you know, it certainly wasn't by design. It was just on a retailer's, you know, new releases catalogue, and you know, they fully admitted, yeah, you know, this is a repress type thing. And I listened to the audio. The cover imagery was exactly the same. It wasn't even the original of this album. It's got a very distinctive cover on it, and the link down below to what I'm going to use, you'll see it for yourself. And I just got blown away. Literally, it was like in my mind, it was like a cartoon image where my shoes are left in one place and my body, it's just over, you know, 6 feet somewhere in another direction. When in hearing this, it's just, yeah, it's really hard to explain. It was like a visceral experience in the sense of, and this is both tracks, Torremolinos and I've even forgotten what the other, Children of Bahia. Because they're, all right, first of all, they're kind of like, fundamentally, it's Latin. It's a pair of Latin tunes which last pretty much 20 minutes each. But there's far more. There's a level, there's layering going on here, which is one on top of the other. All right, this, not only is that extraordinary because it's vocals, it's the normal kind of Latin syncopation. There's strings. But the breadth of the soundscape which is presented to you is absolutely astonishing. Noises like cymbals, bongo drums are coming in from different directions. The vocals are hitting you straight on, and it also feels like part of the vocals is hitting you from like the back of your head, like somebody's literally shouting from behind you. Totally crazy experience in music. I know it's gonna, as a choice, it's probably gonna, well, hopefully what I'm hoping is, if you've seen any of my previous videos, like my, you know, end of year kind of like what I consider my most memorable piece of vinyl purchasing of that year, it usually is choices which are not conventional even to this channel, which is primarily jazz vinyl. This also falls into it. It's probably that's what makes it special to me in terms of getting my hands on it this year, because it's not jazz. So yeah, maybe that's what part and parcel about it and why I'm so enthusiastic about it. But my enthusiasm for this EP isn't just because it's a different sound type of thing. There's something else going on as well. And yes, it puts on one side, you got the composition and the musicianship on one side. Then I've talked about it in my other most recent YouTube video. certain albums have scalability, and what I mean by that is, depending on what the level of the audio equipment you're listening to, you will have a different experience. And kind of like the more refined the equipment is, in general terms, the more refined it is, the more will be revealed out of the actual body of work. You'll hear things, not only hear things, it'll be presented to you in a way that you just your mind boggles with it. Because my kind of, as a technical achievement, what kind of makes me laugh is, whether this was 72 or 74, it's going to be something like that. I don't know what level of engineering equipment they were using, but I'm of kind of like that era, and it's like, I know that how modern sound is reproduced in hi-fi, where music technology has gone, that how on earth did you layer it? Where did you get the equipment for to reproduce that sound that somebody else could hear it? I mean, your studio must have been the craziest speaker setup. I just can't fathom it for that era. Because it's only now with modern equipment that it could be all separated and sound as it was intended, where everything's not only compositionally layered, but instruments are coming at you from totally different directions. It's absolutely bonkers. It's so enjoyable. But one of the other aspects is you're gonna have to listen to it a few times, both sides, both tracks. You got to listen to it a few times. I'm saying 6-7 times. They're 20-minute tracks, so it's not an easy undertaking, but you got to take in the whole body of what each track's trying to do. And it is, I mean, as a technical, I mean, this guy could say this is my opus, and that sounds really pretentious in music. But even if this guy, I don't know what he did before. He probably didn't do anything after this particular album. It's so good. It's the imagination and how it's actually performed is so good that I don't, you could literally go, I'm done. I don't need to do anything else. I'm just waiting for the world to catch up with my genius. So this guy could be that kind of, like, you could be that kind of arrogant and confident, and he's absolutely right. That's the thing what makes me laugh. He's absolutely right. This is mad good. But it's not for everyone. It really isn't for everyone. I'm sure it's going to be divisive with, the subscriber base, those who regularly watch my videos. It's probably going to like divide you in the sense of, you're going to go, I don't know why, it's just all right. That's, Whereas I'm like, this is bonkers. This is part of what I've been searching for on my musical journey. Crazy tunes, which crazy, yeah, the term crazy isn't technically, it's not fair, because that kind of slightly, you're kind of being slightly dismissive. No, I'm not trying to be that. I'm a fully paid up member to whatever you're doing here, mate. This is it. Anyway. So again, and I'm sorry that I don't have the original cover art version of it. I'm happy with this version, but if I manage to get hold of the original, if it becomes, somehow becomes available to me, I'll definitely get that as well. But as a musical journey, I've got to say, Randy Masters and Solar Plexus, the EP Children of, one side Children of Bahia, and on the other side is Torremolinos. I gotta say, you get the salute, mate. I just love it. Links are going to be down below. I'm going to put, I've only got a couple of pieces of vinyl, so I'm going to link both tracks down. Yeah, so previous videos where I've done the vinyl of the year, I'm going to put those in the link down below. Also, I'm going to put both sides of this particular EP down below, and also there's going to be a link. The last link would be to do with the final piece of vinyl, which I'm going to introduce to you in just a second. So give me a second. So yes, hopefully I've got this right. I'm not entirely sure, because literally I'm kind of freestyling this rather than, I literally didn't even look on the internet. I just didn't look. So forgive me if there's some like misinformation here. It wasn't intended. It's just a case of I was just too damn lazy to go and look beforehand and write it down. So what I'm going to show you is, well, to kind of give you context, part of, again, why there's been so few, the output from me has been, far less than it usually, what it has been over the last few years, is literally in terms of what's out there, what's being released, and what I can get my hands on. It's slowed down. Now, this is a case of, a lot of this is natural in the sense of, because I'm not a completionist and I just don't want everything. I've got to like what I'm purchasing. I've got to believe in it. And I simply don't want everything in jazz, because I don't like everything in jazz. So, yeah, part of like, that's the wider context. So I've been buying, more contemporary jazz, which I've, it's taken a while to get my hands on stuff that I like in sufficient numbers, but yeah, I've done that recently. But also I've been buying a lot of 7-inch vinyl, which I normally wouldn't do. I've shied away from this particular, format. I've never really been interested in this format of 7 inches, but things being what they are, I kind of got got into it, became more kind of, well, if you don't start buying some of this, then you really, how are you going to scratch that itch? You need to buy vinyl. So there you go. So that was a roundabout way of talking about how I happen to have this. And this is a 7-inch by a group called the Rosettes. Okay, and the track in question is called Souvenir. I'm going to leave a link for you down below. What genre would I put it into? Don't know. I can't tell you. It's yeah, I don't know. It's both nostalgic and kind of retro pop. You know what? I don't even have the vocabulary, because this is not. Because when I purchased it, it was under, in terms of broad category, it was under soul, and I'm not dismissing that at all. But equally, you can say it's kind of like a neo pop thing, and you can also say it's kind of some other genres. I'm not entirely sure, but I like it. I really do. I know nothing about the group itself, but I do like that, again, it's a respectful homage type sound, in the sense of, what makes it good is that it echoes sounds of previous eras. And it's, it's not an accident. It's by design that this is done, but it's done really well. It's done tastefully, and it does stand up on its own as a body of work, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna see. That's the paradox, because it's mimicking something else, an earlier style. Can you say that it's standing up on its own 2 feet? It's not. But that's not to say that it shouldn't exist. And what I like about it, it does have that kind of timeless, it's got a timeless ethereal quality to it, where I mean, I'm only guessing, but it's kind of like, because it's a new body of work, so who knows at this moment how it will age, but I've got my suspicions that it's going to age really well. Yeah, I like it. There's a melancholia to it. I think the engineering was on point in terms of if this was a product to produce a sound what sounds like an earlier sound, it does it well. Because what happened is, because part of what, there was another album by a contemporary artist, a three-piece band. When I heard these, like this tune and their album, it's kind of like I was going to buy both, and it was like I had to listen to them probably about 30 times each to kind of work out that eventually, and it was over maybe a 10-day period. I kind of worked out that whereas this one I believe is going to be timeless, I think I only enjoyed the other consideration in the moment. I don't think it's going to age well, because I think it was too much of a parody, a pastiche. I think there's an imaginary fine line, in particularly when you're doing homage pieces. It's like you can get it to where it's kind of like a caricature, rather than you've kind of truly understood what you needed to. Yeah, I kind of understand what I mean. Or I'm probably articulating it really badly, but I think there is a line in there, and it's on an individual, it's case by case basis, but sometimes you can kind of go, well, no, that literally crosses the line. It's not gonna, it's of the moment, but if you listen to this 6 months down the line, your valuation of it would be far lower. It's just a case of making that decision. I think I made the right decision with this one, because it did get to the point where it was no, of course I could have both, but I kind of like did a compare contrast between the two experiences. And whereas the other consideration started off a lot stronger in terms of my consideration, the Rosettes Souvenir, it was a slower and steadier one, but my realization of what was going on and how good it was just kind of pushed it over the edge. It made it like, no, this is the one that you should back. This is the quality, because it's kind of like, it doesn't rush out of the gates try to grab your attention. It kind of like, it knows what it is. So yeah, the Rosettes Souvenir 7-inch, really glad to have it in my collection. I'm going to leave a link down below so you can hear it for yourself, see what you think. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hopefully you'll enjoy at least one of my suggestions today. If you hated both of them, please let me know in the comment section. Yeah, I just have to take it on the chin. If you don't agree with me, you don't have to. It's not a problem. So yeah, thank you for your time. Yeah. Oh, I nearly dropped it there. So thank you for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure. In the comment section again, let me know what you think of my choices. What would be your choices of vinyl of the year by way of purchasing? It doesn't just have to be jazz related albums. It could be anything that you purchased for your collection within the year of 2024, where you said to yourself, that changed the course of my collection. That it's doing something different than anything else. I think you know what I mean. Yeah, please let me know in the comment section. If you've enjoyed today's video, please consider liking, subscribing and sharing to like-minded people, and to those who are not like-minded people, because they might just like the idea of watching a middle-aged man just ramble about absolute garbage. They might just like that. So either case, hey, I'm not ashamed to take the view, you know what I mean? So yeah, until the next video, please take care of yourself. I'm going to try and get a video out as soon as I can in 2025, but it's wholly dependent on what's made available between January and February of next year. So it's all dependent on that. So in the meanwhile, please take a look at some of my other videos. There's numerous on the actual channel. Hopefully you'll find something of interest there. I tend not to repeat albums there, so you know, each episode is a standalone, and hopefully you'll find material out there, particularly in the world of jazz vinyl, which will suit your collection. So until the next video, please look after yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you soon for another video. Take care. Bye bye.